Yeah,
Ooh.
buddy, yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Hey
that.
guys. I
Every
know,
time.
right? Hey guys, welcome into Auto Rhythm. Hey, so I'm your host, Mr. J May, and we got the guy on the other side. I'm not sure who he is, but I think he's got a name over
So,
there.
somebody, somebody,
Who are
so,
you?
somebody told me I'm the co-host. I wasn't
Oh,
sure.
oh, oh,
I
that's
had to,
what it is.
yeah. I had to look the wall up here, and I'm like, we're gonna get a show tonight. Usually it's
Uh,
my fault that we're late. We always tell we always tell the people like 6:30, but I'm always fashionably
yes,
late. Had
yes.
to hop my. Didn't you take a shower too? I had to hop my grubby ass.
Yeah. I hopped in the shower real quick. I needed to freshen up a little bit and get ready. Well, but hey guys, welcome in. This is actually our first actually airing on YouTube. So
Moving up in the world, just like Van
yes.
Jefferson.
But
This shit.
yeah, I know I hope things actually go pretty well for us. We'll see. I mean, we've been streaming at Twitch for a little while and just our Facebook Live page. But yeah,
We had
other
to
than that,
expand. Yeah, we had to expand a little bit, but there's
yeah.
there's no better way to expand and clean up than a nice shot of the Patron. What do you got tonight? What do you got?
It's always my favorite, but yeah. That's always that's my favorite, man.
That's
It's
your
all
go-to. Well, yeah, that's good. That's
yes.
good shit. There's nothing ever wrong with that. God
But
damn.
as everybody knows, it's
Friday. I'm taking up Friday when we get together for the league show. I'm gonna have some more of yours.
yeah.
Fuck you.
So this is our little bit of our tradition. Before we start a show, we always have a nice little shot of whatever we got our hands on, and that's how we just start the show.
Well, I got my left hand somewhere else, but my
Oh,
right,
hey,
right
hey
hand is
now,
right here.
hey, that's a little bit uncalled for.
I call that the Milky Stranger.
uh, all right,
All right,
all
all
right.
right, all right. You already take your shot? Oh,
Nope,
there
not
you go.
yet. Yep, there I am.
Cheers,
Ready?
my friend. Yes.
Cheers.
That's good.
Oh, God.
So,
I,
how was your weekend?
actually, it wasn't too bad at all. I didn't mind my weekend. I watched a lot of college football for sure, and then I also watched well, I actually did a college football draft too. So
How'd that go?
not too bad. And there's only 6 of us right now, but I'm hoping to get it a little bit bigger. Um,
Wait.
anyways,
So I don't mean to cut you off, but that's that bullshit again. It's getting to me. Uh, no, but I was gonna ask, like, is it a weekly thing or is it a seasonal? Like, could I get in on that action or is it too late? I know we're two
well,
weeks into
yeah,
college season, but
yeah, it's a little bit too late, but yeah, no, it's a college. It's all seasonal. I mean, so it's a go sort year by year. So I was trying to find guys that wanted to play. I got 6 of us, but hopefully next year, hopefully I can get like maybe a few more people. At least there's 6 of us right now, but hopefully maybe get another. I like to have 8 or 10 guys, and the reason why I'm doing that is it actually helps people like and well, for you next year, I can give you a little bit of a lowdown on that. But for people to draft next year for season, well, God, I can't even talk either. Jesus Christ.
maybe you need another shot of that.
Maybe I do. Hold on.
Yeah. You know what?
Let's
You know what?
let's
One,
let's, let's
one
do
wasn't
let's
one
do one
wasn't
more.
enough, guys. One wasn't enough to get this
Yeah.
going here. This is the
Yeah.
first night on YouTube. We're
It's
gonna do
a,
this right, and then
it's
James
a
is
little
gonna be okay.
it's a little strange, I say. All right. Here we
Let's
go.
try this again. Yeah.
Mm. All right. Ooh. Better.
Winner,
right.
winner, chicken dinner.
Wait, okay. Anyways, my point is, I did college football for a reason. It's for draft reasons for the NFL. It's pretty much rookies. I want to know about rookies before they come in the NFL. So I can get my fingertips on a lot of these guys. Like yep. It's like I mentioned to you a while back ago, like Zach Moss. I watched him with Utah, and like him and I trying to remember the QB at the time, but they were good, but they never played. I mean, they were kind of the bottom of the Pac-12 at that time. They weren't really that great, but they were winning games. But yeah, I actually watched a lot of Zach Moss, and then I I was a fan of him because he was actually on my team. So I had quite a few shares of him, and there were some other people I had too. And so right now it kind of sucks because Yahoo stopped doing college football for some odd reason. But
Those bastards, they stopped doing fantasy NASCAR. They
I
stopped
know.
doing college football. They're corrupt. We should do it. You know what? You know what? If we get enough demand, maybe we'll just do our own website. We'll just do our
I
own
know, right?
fantasy. Huh? Maybe
I
that's why
know.
we started Out of Rhythm Fantasy Sports to be an umbrella for those
Yes.
sports that were taken away. They're here.
I
Jamie does but you do great. I mean, he's always telling me stuff. He does great analysis of the college product, and like I said, I mean Zach Moss. We'll get to him when we do that Bills review. I got my Bills shirt, by the way. Reference my boy Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But no, it's Jamie's always on top of things, and he's telling me stuff. So, but this weekend, dude, there was a couple good games that I was like, wow, it kind of reaffirmed like why we love college football. I don't know if you saw that Florida State LSU game, but FSU. My brother in Florida, he's an FSU alum. He's a fan of our show too, by the way. You might be listening.
But,
yeah. Shout out to Eric. No, he's a huge FSU fan, and they pulled it off with a last second blocked extra point, 24-23. And Brian Kelly, he left Notre Dame. Had a great program up in Notre Dame. Left him for LSU. Thought it'd be greener pastures. Wrong, dude. You're gonna finish third in the SEC West this year. So I hope my ass tastes great. What do you think?
Well, I was actually really surprised it was like the last couple minutes of the game. I kind of hopped on and I was actually listening to some pods or something. I can't remember exactly. I'm like, I'm actually going to check out that game a little bit. So they actually muffed the freaking kickoff. The guy totally dropped it. And then FSU tosses the freaking ball and the guy fumbles it. LSU freaking gets the ball back. And next thing you know, they're driving down the fucking field and it's like... It was insane.
They scored. They scored. I think they scored about like maybe 17 points in the second half. I mean, they were down the whole game, and I thought LSU. I mean, FSU's been down for years, and since Jameis left. So they haven't been good in almost 10 years. But so I figured LSU was going to pull it out in overtime, and and the world would make itself right again. I was wrong, and so LSU, like I said, they're gonna struggle. I mean, they'll win their nine games or so, but they're not gonna be what. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
is that Jared? He went to Jared.
Yes,
my God, my dude.
Yes, just to finish up on the whole LSU game. I actually watched their tight end. Actually, it was fairly close because I actually had to review it to see if he was actually like inbounds or out of bounds. His knee was down, and then I was hoping for an overtime game to kind of see who was actually going to win the game, and then I couldn't believe that the punt or the kick was actually blocked. I'm like, oh my God. So that was talk about freaking just insane at that moment, but. It is what it is. But quickly, the other game I actually watched was, on the side there, the Jackson, Iowa. Fuck, South Dakota couldn't do
almost
nothing. I watched. They couldn't even do it. They couldn't even move the ball. They couldn't do anything. Even though we were I think we were ranked either number 1 or number 2 this year.
Number two in the division below.
So I was actually watching that game. Yeah. Yes, FBS, I think. Yeah, exactly. But I was actually watching that game. I'm like, oh shit, I want to watch the Jack just against Iowa. And they didn't do anything. It was just short passes. They couldn't even run the ball hardly. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, I guess you can you can put it that way. I mean, they're playing a bigger team. I figured well, we should be able to actually move the ball a little bit more. The game should be a little bit more high scoring. But it was funny. There was headlines about that game all over that game. They were giving puns all about how South Dakota just sucks, and the Iowa game was just they're comparing it to the North Dakota game or fucking Appalachian and UNC game. It was kind of funny, actually, to
Yeah,
put it
yeah,
that
yeah.
way.
Polar opposites here. You
Yeah.
got 21 punts there. Thank you, Jared. 21 punts in this game, man. Like, yeah, this was. I mean, if you love defense, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm more preferential to freaking LSU and Alabama from like 10 years ago when you'd have a
Yeah.
10-7, just two Goliaths going at it. But this was just bad, sloppy football, honestly. And the Jacks, they should have pulled this out. And it would have
Yeah.
been a big feather in the cap too. You take
Oh,
out
most definitely.
I was not a powerhouse Big Ten team, but I mean they're
No.
respectable. They'll win what 7 or 8 games this year.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I know they haven't been ranked for a while, anyways, from what I see, and I think the Iowa State's actually a little bit better than
Yeah,
them.
they got a better.
I mean,
program.
we think about it, that's where Brees Hall came from, and Brees Hall was just running up the fucking chains, man. He was just getting yards left and right, dude.
Maybe we'll get to him in a little bit, but we know we'll quickly mention this and we'll get to the headlines. But yeah,
Yeah.
that UNC Appalachian State game. Good Lord, man.
Oh my god. Well, I'm glad I watched some of that game. I was like, it was insane, man. Because I actually watched. They kicked it off, and the guy,
Like, is
or
it
they
gonna
actually
stop?
did a on field, and the guy just caught it and went in, and then Appalachian just went down the field on these guys. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? I couldn't believe it myself, but UNC pulled it off. I mean, I got Mays on my fantasy team, so I'm kind of happy about that.
Yeah, no, May is great. Was he a freshman?
I'm not sure exactly. I was gonna dig some more into some of that
He's either a
stuff, but
freshman or a redshirt freshman. The kids.
yeah.
I mean, I thought they would take a step back because Sam Howell, he was drafted by the Commanders.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I thought they'd take a step back, but no, guys got 2 games, 9 touchdowns, 0 picks. Leads college football, Division I in passing yards so far, which for an ACC program is I know they played some lesser competition, but still, I mean,
Yeah.
usually it's not an ACC quarterback that's leading the country in passing yards. So I mean, this kid is
No.
phenomenal, and I think I know you're a big UNC fan. I don't know, dude. I think they could surprise some people. I think win maybe 9, possibly 10 games if things go right. I mean, get into a good bowl. I don't think
Yeah.
they're a top 10 team, but yeah, I don't see why they couldn't be a top 20 team this year.
Yeah. I mean, I hope maybe they can be a ranked team this year, but I mean, well, time is due. Time will come its way, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I was kind of hearing some words. It's UNC kind of sucks, but they have to. Their QB has to actually put up points for them to actually win games. So I mean, it's one of those things. Or I mean, I know the basketball side of UNC is always great, but when it comes down to the football side, they're kind of hit and miss a lot of times. So I mean, it's one of those things. But other than that, hey man, I'm a UNC guy all the way. Nerds. Hey man, hey Chad. Chad, I hope you enjoyed the show. I think this is the first time I think Chad actually watched. He's the guy that recommended me to actually maybe host one of the Plazo shows, possibly football shows, possibly. But yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how that comes down to play actually. But yeah, other than that, hey man, it is what it is. But I think we should get into some headlines quick, and then we should get on the show here, get on the road.
I agree.
Yes.
What's this about Darnell Mooney saying, "Oh, no, 49ers they're gonna regret not drafting Justin Fields"? I don't think so at all. The Bears are gonna be lucky to win. Here's a little spoiler. Bears are gonna be lucky to win 2 games this year. You're in no position to talk smack. Just wait till I get a little later in the show. I'm going to get to the 49ers defense and on how high I am on them. For the matchup against the Bears. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? I think it's kind of goofy. I mean, I like that he has his quarterbacks, or he's backing up his quarterback. But I mean, you're facing. I mean, this is the consensus. Everybody you look at, man. NFL Network, ESPN, Fantasy Pro, everybody's got the 49ers at least 1 or 2 in defenses this year. I mean, they are the elite of the elite on defense, and they're going to come after this kid. Bosa is going to harass him. They're going to pick. I know you like Fields, man, but this is going to get ugly this weekend.
I Honestly, I like Fields a little bit more. I like Fields a little bit more. Even Chad says they're lucky to win two. Honestly, I think they'll win more than 2 games. I mean, even though they got a different coach, a different offense, I think it's going to be more. I think people are going to be surprised with the Bears they're going to be a whole different game. I mean, their wide receiver core, I know it sucks. I mean, their running backs, they're mediocre. I mean, you got freaking Montgomery.
You can't stay healthy.
Well, yeah, that's the bad part about it. And then you got Tariq Cohen. I think he's coming back, but not sure. Haven't really heard. No, I mean that's the bad part about it. Other than that,
running back on the roster is Khalil Herbert.
But I think the Bears will win more than 2 games. But that's just my opinion.
Man, you must have visited that dispensary down in Flandreau, bro. I'm high on life. You're high on something else. I don't know about that.
Let's see. Well, even Jared's all like, I don't know about that, but hey, it is what it is. I just think the Bears.
Predictions, man. I like bold predictions like that. That's
I just think the Bears will be actually a little bit better than the Jaguars and frickin'.
Was it Lee Corso, the college guy? Not so fast, my friend. I think towards the end of the year, the Jags will start surprising some people. I like.
Well, even Chad says,
and Lawrence. I think Lawrence of Arabia. I think he's going to take off this year.
Honestly, I think with Fields being actually a that dual threat guy, I think Fields will actually give the Niners a run for their money. Honestly.
Chad, that rush defense isn't going to matter because the Bears can't run the football. Fields is going to be running for his life. That's gonna, and then Montgomery will get hurt in the second quarter, and then Tariq Cohen will get hurt on a punt return. That's how things are going to go down.
He said he actually had that flip, so it is the rush to his top 5.
That's even worse then.
Well, I mean. If you think about it, it's Darnell Mooney is their number 1 guy. I mean, other than that, who else are they're going to throw to? I mean, well, fuck, we were actually just talking about that in our preview here not too long ago. I mean, they got.
We're trying to be nice. We're trying to be nice. We're like, maybe N'Keal Harry, maybe Velus Jones. They don't have anybody.
I'm trying to think. He was the kid from. The Titans who actually went to the Bears. I can't think of his name offhand now. God damn it. That's right. He's irrelevant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. All right. Next headline. I'm done with the Bears. I'm done.
Well, I thought you were going to make fun of their enclosed stadium.
I don't even want to talk about that because I'm like, that's 10 years from now. and that they won't. Jamie, they'll be lucky to win 50 games in the next 10 years. I mean, this is they are dysfunctional. If we have any Bears fans, I mean, as we grow, the people are going to come throw hate on me. They're going to throw shade on me because I'm bad. I'm going to trash the Bears. The Bears have taken over the Lions spot because now the Lions are at least respectable with Dan Campbell and what he's doing there.
Well, that if you think about it, that division is always shitty. It's either the Vikings or the Packers.
Yeah, every year.
Where the fuck are the Bears and the freaking Lions at? Nowhere. The
one guy that won 12 games for them, they ran out of town, and he's starting with Pittsburgh now, which we'll get to. But that might actually be the next headline after. but yeah, Trubisky wins 12 games for them. I think 2018 he won 12 games, and they run him out of town. You're not good enough. Well, apparently he's going to start in Pittsburgh because he beat out Kenny Pickett. What do you think about that? Huh?
Well, if you think about it, fucking, Trubisky was a UNC guy. So what? I mean, it's UNC's guy.
Crank them out. Hey,
yeah, Jay, they are. They must be for sure. I mean, you got Sam Howell. Now you got the Mays coming up. Who knows? The next couple of years, he'll probably be the next hot guy coming out of the draft.
No, absolutely, and it's a surprise in that. For a while there, people were talking Rudolph might beat out Pickett, which is ridiculous. We both know Mason Rudolph can't. He couldn't find his way out of a paper bag. So Mason Rudolph is lucky to have a job. Okay, be lucky you're getting an NFL paycheck being a third stringer. He is atrocious. Pickett, I think it's only a matter of time It might even be next year. It might be a Alex Smith, Mahomes situation. It might be a Garoppolo, Lance situation where they let Trubisky play in 2022. Which I think is fine. I think Mitch can win with that Pittsburgh roster. I think he can win 8 or 9 games. That's not crazy to think. I mean, he can get him around 500. He's not. I mean, he's solid. I don't know why there's been so much hate. He was in a dysfunctional franchise. I mean, people talk about Derek Carr all the time. Oh, he's in a dysfunctional franchise. You don't think the Bears aren't dysfunctional? I mean, Trubisky, yeah, I think he can do a lot, especially with Najee behind him. That receiving core. Freiermuth is on the ascent. He's a stud tight end. We both love that kid.
We do.
So that's just my 2 cents on it, man. I think Pickett's going to have to. I think he's going to have to wait a year. I think Trubisky's going to hold him off this year. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you think about it,
Chad was. I mean, cut you off, but Chad was saying about Matt Nagy. Yeah, Nagy too. They ran him out of town too.
Well, if you think about it, Nagy didn't do shit. I mean, I think he actually made him descend downwards. He didn't help out. He didn't do anything with that team. It was
Vince Lombardi for their roster. I mean, the Bears are terrible. He won 12 games there.
But yeah, it's horrible. But I think I like Trubisky. I mean, shit. I mean, he went to the Bills. I mean, now he's got a second opportunity, and that because if you think about it, Trubisky's actually up there with a lot of these guys like Mahomes and whatnot. I mean, it's proven, it's out there. The stats are out there. Trubisky is a good QB. So I mean, it's just like, I mean, I like the guy. I'm hoping he actually puts out numbers that actually shows why he's actually a starter. I'm hoping so, anyways.
Yeah, he worked with Brian Daboll last year when he was backing up Josh Allen in Buffalo. I mean, Daboll did wonder. I mean, Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the league now, and that was a lot because of Brian Daboll's coaching. So I'm pretty sure Mitch picked up a couple. It's amazing what having good coaching will do for you.
Yeah, most definitely.
So I think.
Oh shit! And he's gone.
Mitch, I think he'll be fine, man. He's gonna be able to. Oh shit. Buddy was saying that I'm his customer at Wasted Ink. Okay.
Well, anyways, I just think that Trubisky he'll actually have a good chance. Trubisky actually has to mess up really huge for Pickett to actually come into play. I mean, and it's earlier today, NFL Network, they actually said, starting QB is, Trubisky, and then they got Pickett as number 2 guy, and then, and then the other guy is number 3. So
they should cut. I see every other team, dude. They're rolling with 2 quarterbacks. I'm a weirdo, so I checked out the depth charts and all 32 teams.
Yeah.
Most of these teams are rolling with, except the Patriots, because they're still running an offense from like 2001. But every other team is running with 2 quarterbacks. So you know what you do, Pittsburgh? You open up a roster spot for a backup tight end, maybe. Who knows? Maybe Gronk comes out of retirement and Gronk signs with Pittsburgh. Who knows? But I cut Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph has to go. Has to go.
And Chad, I actually heard some of those rumors too that teams, Pittsburgh was actually wanting to actually trade for Rudolph too. Pickett is their future. I mean, Trubisky right now is kind of a guy that's just in the middle of the mix. Right now Pickett is the guy for the future, but right now Trubisky is the guy, and I'm actually fond of it. And this season we'll probably put that stone into the mix if Trubisky is shit or good, and next year if it be Pickett, it's.
If it's not Pickett, I'm going to start a Pickett line. I'm going to get my little. All right. So of the free agents, Jay, we'll finish up on this and we'll get into some of the matchups. Which is what everybody's been waiting for. Some of the free agents. Odell's still available. A lot of guys on defense that I'm seeing, but why haven't teams? Why haven't they picked up Odell? I mean, he's still. I know he's injury prone, but the guy's only 30. He's still got some value left, I think.
Oh, I think he actually has a lot of value yet. I mean,
great in the playoffs last year.
He was.
Without him, I don't even think they would have got by the 49ers without him. In the NFC title game.
No, I wouldn't think so. I mean, Odell was actually he was the guy that actually helped him get over the top.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm a fan. I'm kind of glad that Odell actually got out of freaking Cleveland because he actually went downwards. He didn't do anything with Cleveland. And it was kind of like, dude, what the hell? It almost looked like he was washed up. He didn't go anywhere. He didn't do anything. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. I mean, it's funny to say that the Browns have so much talent, but they can't do anything. It's insane. They have all this cap space, all this room to get all these people, but yet they're still at the bottom.
Dysfunctional franchises do dysfunctional things. I'm sorry. Where is Jarvis Landry now? Where's Odell? Where's Baker Mayfield? Like, this is what they do. I mean, the Browns are they're allergic to success. They almost beat the goddamn Chiefs in the divisional playoff game a couple years ago. I mean, they were like a defensive stop away from possibly being in the AFC title game, and now they're going to win like probably 5 games this year. You know, from the penthouse to the outhouse. I mean, that's and you know, the Bears too. It's like the Bears get one good season and they screw it up. You know, that's what these dysfunctional franchises do.
Well, yeah, most definitely. I mean, if you Baker was actually doing good for them. They ran him out of town. They got some washed up Machouche guy that wants to freaking attack women in the freaking parlors. So it's just like.
He's a sleazeball. And I love Chad here. He's like, why pay for OBJ when you can sign T.O.?
Well, hey, if you think about it, T.O.'s actually ready. Actually, T.O.'s actually playing in some.
I saw that.
Yeah, he's like 40. Was it? He's like 40 some odd.
He's like 49. Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's still at it, man. It's sad to say, but I think he's probably still better than probably 10% of the receivers in the league. He could be I dare say he could probably be a number 4 or number 5 guy on, maybe Detroit, so I still think he can. I still think T.O., if he wanted to, he could make an NFL roster.
Yeah, I'm sure he could.
He keeps himself in phenomenal shape, dude. He's probably the fittest 49-year-old guy you'll ever meet outside of The Rock.
Yes, most definitely.
This is true. Derek Anderson is their best quarterback in 25 years.
Well, the list keeps going on and on. Who's going to be on the list next year?
Chad's in rare form tonight. Jesus.
Well, hey, this is the guy that is just like, hey, he's the one that brought up. He thought I was knowledgeable. I don't know. Am I knowledgeable, Chad? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly.
You can. He's Brady's Antonio Brown. Yeah, could be. So what about? We'll wrap up on Will Fuller. He's been. I think there's more to it than
I think so.
Injuries. I think he's toxic. I think teams are staying away from him. Some of these defensive guys are a little older. A couple from my beloved Bucks. We got Sue, JPP. Do you think any of these guys get picked up? I mean, all teams need an edge rusher. I mean, so
of course they do. I mean, they're all fine, Yeah. Well, the big thing is I like Fuller. I mean, he was a boom in frickin' with the Texans. But he ended up going down maybe the wrong direction, and he goes over to Dolphins, where it almost seems like you go to Dolphins, your career's over with. It just seems like nothing happens with the Dolphins. It's just if you think about it, Landry was their only best wide receiver there. I loved Landry, but he didn't hardly do anything. Even when he went over to the Browns, he hardly did anything. He wasn't putting up numbers like he used to. So
he was barely, when he was healthy, he was barely a top 50 PPR receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, just and he had fought. I mean, the guy. I mean, we're talking 2014, 2015 at this point, but he was at one time he was leading the league in receptions. So, he was a catch machine back in the day, but barely do anything in Cleveland. I think he'll do okay. Being the number 3 or 4 guy in New Orleans.
Yeah, I think he'll be. Yeah, I think he's number 3 guy. I mean, you got Thomas, you got Olave, and then Landry. Yep, you got Landry up in the mix there. So, then there's a couple. I know there's a couple other guys in the mix there too down there that. Will be
Traquan Smith.
Yep. He is the other one. Yep. So, but I think Landry, he will be their number 2 guy, and then Olave will be their number 3 guy. So that's kind of how everything is going to play out down there, anyways.
couple of these guys quick. Joe Hayden, he was a stud corner at one time. I don't know what happened with him. He just lost a step, or Eric Fisher too. Eric Fisher was I think 2013. I want to say he was the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, he was. I think he's
Chiefs, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
His whole. I think he was the.
Think bad character guys in the locker room, or you think some of these vet. I know Sue's kind of he's older. And he's kind of a prick. I get not signing him, but Dante Hightower. You think some of these veterans would be good in the locker room, or
you would think so anyway.
Injuries are inevitable in the league. You think that,
but injuries are going to happen no matter what. I mean, this is football. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, that's why teams end up with number 2 guys. They want backups for their backups. Really, if you think about it, when it comes to offensive line. I mean, look at Dallas. I mean, we had one of our main guys go down, and now we actually just signed a guy from the Eagles, and he's like 40-some years old. So it's just kind of like it just goes to show.
Jason Peters, yeah, I like that. I mean, Jason Peters will be a borderline Hall of Fame offensive lineman. Man, that was a nice addition. I don't know how much he's got left in the tank, but he's a good locker room guy. So that's
for now. We were there were some headlines too. We were actually trying to get the guy from the Rams who actually retired after the Super Bowl. So I mean, it's just one of those
Whitworth, yeah.
So those are some headlines, but we'll have to kind of. I mean, I haven't really listened to much the Cowboys pod here. I have to catch up on some of that, but. And that's kind of how I kind of stay in tune with some of those what's kind of going on around the league. But
how about them Cowboys?
I know, right? But I mean, I'm glad that we actually got an offensive line to help out a little bit. So it's.
I'll get to that when we do the Bucs and Cowboys preview. Just how good the Dallas offensive line is. All right. I'm not rocking this shirt for no. Dak is going to have years. You damn right. And Zeke and Pollard too. I think Dallas's offense will be just fine. I worry about Dallas. I worry about McCarthy. I don't worry about the rest of the team. If they had a competent coach, they'd win 12 games.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I mentioned this to you before. I mean, McCarthy. I mean, he's a knowledgeable coach, but I just don't think he has that. Yeah, I don't think he has that edge anymore. I mean, because. I mean, look at all the years that he was with the Packers. I mean, he was actually making the Packers good, and now it's kind of like, now what? It's kind of like.
Where's your little keyboard sound effect thing? I need something.
I don't have anything yet.
I don't know what you've been smoking tonight, but you want to know what his ace in the hole was? It was Aaron frickin' Rodgers. That was his ace in the hole. He's terrible. He's terrible.
Yeah.
All right, man. Do you want to get into week 1 matchups, or do you have?
Yeah. Well, let's get
or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, let's get into our Fab 5 here. So, our first game on the roster.
2, 1.
So we got Thursday night game. We got Bills and Rams going on. Ooh.
Yeah,
it's actually finally coming, man. It's been a long time, and it's like, oh.
Fuck, dude, I remember being a little kid, and when the Bills had like Jim Kelly and Andre Reed, they'd always be in prime time, and now this is badass, man. Two of the best offenses, 2 of the best defenses. This is just going to be a great freaking game.
It is. And honestly, I'm hoping the people in the red win. That's what I'm hoping for, anyway.
I'm pulling for Buffalo too, man. You know what? If it can't, we're kind of homers here. It's okay. If it can't be a Buffalo and Dallas Super Bowl, then damn it, I want a Buffalo and Tampa Super Bowl. I want Bills are my favorite AFC team this year. Damn it, and it's gonna start here. This is the highway to the Super Bowl. Get on board. Get on the bus.
Yeah.
Something. FJP Lossman. Yeah, you know what? He set that franchise back. I'm looking right in the camera. He set that franchise back like 5 or 6 years. He was that bad. All right. So the over under is 52.5 points for their. I'm taking the over, dude. I think because they have the Bills defense ranked per. I can't even speak. Maybe I need another shot. per fantasy pros. So they got the Bills defense graded at a B, and they got the Rams defense graded at a D plus. Now I don't think they're that far apart. I don't think the Rams defense, Rams defense isn't that bad. I think the Rams have easily a top 10, if not top 5. Bills definitely a top 5 defense. So
yeah.
I just think you get two juggernauts like this going head to head, creative. Just there's players up the ass. You got Diggs against Cup. You got is Van Jefferson gonna play? Is he gonna play?
I actually, honestly, I don't think
I don't think he is either.
I don't think he is, but I think a guy to look at in this game, it might be Tutu. He might
Tutu
play.
Well, yeah, no,
yeah.
They got. Well, I mean, Fantasy Pros has him graded as an F, but I have him graded as a C. I think Tutu could get. If you're doing a DFS team, which hey, if you're watching Friday, if you're watching the League Show, maybe me and Jamie will do. Maybe we'll do a special DraftKings team to help you out. If you're looking for somebody a little cheaper, a little under the radar, Tutu Atwell is a nice option this week. I think he could get maybe 5 or 6 targets. I don't think that's out of the question because the Bills aren't going to see it coming. And likewise, I could see McKenzie from the Bills, getting 6, maybe 6 targets or so. Kind of being that number 3 guy behind, obviously Diggsy and Davis. But man, I just think you got A+ receive, especially the number 1. I think Diggs is going to have 110 and a touchdown. I think Cooper is going to have maybe 130 and a touchdown. I mean the number 1 guys are going to go off. Running games are debatable. I'm not a huge Cam. I'll let you get your stuff in, but not a huge Cam Akers fan. Not a huge Singletary fan. I could see some James Cook. I think the Bills might you might see a little bit of the Rook. I think that might take the Rams kind of by surprise too. What are your thoughts on everything?
Well, I think this is going to be an under game there with the defenses and offenses. I just don't think there's going to be really a lot of numbers being put up a lot, just because there's so many good players on each side. I mean, if you think about it, freaking they have what's his name from the defense from the Rams going over to freaking Buffalo Bills.
Miller.
Yeah, so I mean, I think he's going to make a little bit of an impact. He's going to ruffle the feathers with the Rams a little bit. But
he'll get after staff, man, for sure.
Yeah, I would think so. But either way, I'm not a really fan of Singletary. I'll just when I was doing some of my, getting my projections from Fantasy Pros, I was just kind of like, they had Singletary going 10 for 45 yards, but I'm just like, with that defense. And if they're moving the ball up and down, if they actually do get in the red zone, I think James Cooks might get in. I think James Cooks will actually end up being a little bit more involved, honestly, to tell you the truth.
I think so too. And they have, Fantasy Pros, some of these grades, obviously they're my favorite. That's who we reference for a lot of these games, and the 4 other games we're going to do too. So Fantasy Pros we love. I don't like the D grade they gave James Cook because I think he could be another DFS guy. I think he could be, if you're looking for somebody cheap that's off the radar. I mean, he could pop in his rookie. Why not? This is your first game, national stage, Thursday Night Football. Send a message, be like, hey, I'm going to work my way up the depth chart. I'm going to be, right now, Singletary and, Moss maybe is above the depth chart.
Yeah.
But by mid-season, season's end, I am the number 1 back here in Buffalo. Their offensive line is graded at number 20, so the Bills don't have a great offensive line. But like I said, Josh Allen makes up for a lot of deficiencies. They have a top 5.
Does.
I know Chad doesn't think so, but the Bills have a top 5 defense. You got Bass is a great kicker. He's probably a top 5 kicker. So they got good special teams, good defense, and Josh Allen. Josh Allen masks a lot of stuff. You got a legit number 1. You probably have the 5th or 6th best receiver in the league in Stephon Diggs. So, Buffalo, they have the recipe, and I think the final score is going to be 41-31. I know you're taking the under, but I'm going 72 points total. Take the over. Bet that. Make it some money.
I just don't think. I mean, I don't think they get close to 52 points because it's going to be a struggle with teams figuring out how they're going to actually get their offense going and whatnot. With both these teams being great, I just don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I mean, you got Cup on the other side, you got freaking Diggs on the other side. I just don't think it's really going to be that great a game. Like Akers might get some swing passes, Henderson might be in there a little bit, but I'm curious to see what how they put Robinson in there. So I'm kind of curious on that a little bit to see where he actually falls in the play with a lot of this. Because I mean, yeah, Tutu and Jefferson, they've already been in their offense already. So I mean, I'm really kind of curious to see how that kind of pans out, honestly. But I mean, on the other side, I mean, I like Diggs. I'm kind of curious to see how they actually play Isaiah McKenzie because they got him for maybe 7 points, a couple of catches. But I think that if it comes down to it, I think McKenzie will probably get at least 4 catches at least. Maybe close to 40 yards possibly. They got Josh Allen projected maybe a touchdown. So it's really hard saying. It could go to freaking Diggs. It could go to Davis or freaking McKenzie. So either way, it could go to either one of those guys. But it's hard saying.
Hey, you see this? I'm doing sign language over here. You see this? That's 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown for Mr. Josh Allen.
I don't think he goes that. I don't think he gets that, man. But geez, maybe 2 touchdowns possibly. But it's hard saying, honestly.
That's the verdict.
You're horrible.
Right.
You're just horrible.
I know. It's okay.
But well, I mean, Chad's got a good question. I mean, it all depends on where Ramsey is actually in the game too, because I mean, if Ramsey's on Diggs,
yeah, go ahead.
I mean, if Ramsey is on Diggs, I mean, McKenzie and Davis they'll end up seeing more catches.
No, absolutely. I don't think you can contain. It's the same thing with Cooper Kupp. You're not going to stop him all game.
Yeah.
Diggs. I mean, Jalen Ramsey could lock him down for 3.5 quarters. It's that one drive when Diggsy's got 4 grabs, 60 yards and a touchdown. Where the Bills need to get down the field. Who are they going to go to? Maybe Davis, maybe Dawson Knox, but it's Stephon Diggs is money. And he's proven that, with Minnesota and Buffalo. So I think it's that one drive that gets him to that. Because I'm projecting 110 and a touchdown. And I know how good Jalen Ramsey is. Jalen Ramsey is a top 3 cornerback in the league. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's top notch for sure. I mean, they wouldn't have gave him the money if he wasn't that,
But yeah, that's our review. So Jamie's taking the under. I'm taking the over.
Damn right.
All right. So what are we doing? Are we doing the Steelers and Bengals next?
Yeah.
Yes, we are. I love those little graphics, man.
I did this all this morning too. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this and this and this, and yeah. So I just figured it'd be kind of awesome when we talk about people can see who we're talking about and whatnot, the over unders, and so I just think that's just pretty neat. So people actually know what we're talking about,
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh my God. Okay. All right, man. We were talking him up earlier. Mitch Trubisky. Mitchell. Some call him Mitchell still. I call him Mitch.
The Mitch of the South.
Yeah, Mitch of the South. MT10.
So we got a total points of about 44.5 roughly, and I think this is actually going to be a good game because I mean if you think about it, it's in division. It's always going to be it's always a rival game between these two teams, and I think the Bengals actually whooped up the Steelers last time, if I remember.
They did. The
right.
Bengals owned them last year. Couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, especially the I forget which date it was or week, but I know the second game of the season they dominated. They just Steelers couldn't stop Joe Burrow.
So I think this one might be pretty close. I mean they with the Steelers having a different offense this year. I'm kind of curious. I kind of want to see what they're doing. I kind of want to see how they play wide receivers. I want to see how the running backs come into play. I mean, I want to see who's getting, how many people are actually on the snap count wise. I want to see who's going where, how many, So I'm curious on a lot of that stuff when it comes to Steelers.
I think this is going to be an absolute shootout. If I'm being frank with you, man, you got weapons up the ass on the Bengals side. I mean, come on, dude. You have potentially. If Boyd can hold up his end of the bargain, because I don't worry about Higgins or Jamar Chase, but you have potentially 3,000-yard receivers again. I mean, Jamar Chase. What else is there to say? I don't see anybody in the Pittsburgh secondary stopping him. I think it's going to be, he had a mission, man. Him and his boy Jefferson up in Minnesota. They said, we want 2,000 this year, and this is when he starts it, man. I think he gets 150. 2 touchdowns and 150. This is going to be a monster Jamar Chase game. Thank your lucky stars if you have him on your fantasy, because he's going to torch Pittsburgh. And the Bengals, I'll just say it right now. I was going to save it for a couple minutes. I don't care. You know what? Bengals 37, Pittsburgh 17.
Ooh, man, that's a high-scoring game, man. But I don't know. I think this comes to an even match. I think, I think they get him by at least 6 at least. But that's just me. I mean, I love Chase. I love Higgins. Mixon, I just don't know. I mean, how he's going to kind of play into everything, because Mixon's kind of afterthought sometimes. I mean, he's going to be that swing pass, the dump offs and stuff like that. I mean, Pittsburgh's defense, I mean, they're huge. They got some big guys, So, I mean, I just don't think the running game's really going to come into effect. So, I mean, they're going to be passing the ball quite a bit.
You know what this means? Not so fast, my friend. The Bengals have the 8th rated offensive line in the league. I mean, so they fixed their whatever. Burrow was getting harassed, last season, and definitely in the playoffs. I mean, the Titans were all over him, Bills, Rams, even. So I mean, they were harassing him. Number 8 offensive line in the league. You combine that with easily a top 10. If not, top 5 or 6 running back in Joe Mixon. Combine that with 2 stud receivers, Higgins, and of course the all-world Jamar Chase. I don't love the tight end. I mean, Hayden Hurst he's kind of just a guy.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he doesn't do much. I think he's in the top 20 maybe, possibly. You don't hear from him much.
If they can get anything from the defense, which I don't think they'll have much of a problem. I think Pittsburgh. It's going to take Pittsburgh probably till midway in the season to get going with Trubisky and Najee and the especially Pickens. I mean, George. I'll keep that for my hot takes what I think about George Pickens, but I think Pittsburgh is going to be better later in the season. I think they're going to take the L here. They're going to get slapped around a little bit. It'll be competitive in the first half. I think it'll be kind of low scoring. I think it'll be maybe 14-7, 10-7, and then the Bengals will just pull away in the second half like they were doing in the games last year. I think it's just a continuation of that. And if Pittsburgh, speaking of offensive line, because I'm big on that, man. That's why I bring this stuff up. Pittsburgh's got the 30th rated offensive line. Their offensive line is terrible. So if the Bengals get any kind of pass rush, Mitch will be running for his life. So it's going to be if Pittsburgh is going to be competitive in this game, because I think it's going to be well over the 6.5 point spread. But if they are going to be competitive, it's got to be through Najee and a couple big plays in the air with Deontay, Chase Claypool, and the rookie George Pickens. So it's going to have to be some big plays and then pounding in there with Najee. But I don't know if Pittsburgh. I didn't have last year to reference. I wasn't sure what Pittsburgh's offensive line was ranked last year, but with the current state of it, Najee's going to have an uphill battle trying to match his rookie season with how bad their offensive line is, and they got to keep Mitch upright.
That's good. That's gonna come. That's gonna be the thing. I mean, I love a lot of their players that they do have on their offense. I'm a fan. I'm not really quite. I know last year I was kind of down on some of these people last year. The only guy I did really like was Claypool, because he was actually doing something with the ball. Johnson, he was kind of mediocre last year. But
his yards after catch are great. Chase Claypool, one of the best in the league. With Yak.
Yeah.
Hear me, Yak.
No, that's the other thing too. Now I'm kind of like, ooh, Pickens. I actually got some shares of Pickens in some of my leagues somewhere. With I don't know however many leagues I'm in, but I knew I got shares of him because I just think that he'll be a decent sleeper this year. He's a rookie. I don't know. I don't know.
All right,
I know what I'm talking about.
Okay. That's why we have each other. We're like PB and J, man. I finish your thoughts, you finish mine. It's just.
Well, what do you think of Mayormuth?
Freiermuth, I fucking love. Pat Fryermuth is, I mean, they have him ranked this week as the number 10 tight end for PPR. I think that's well warranted. You might get a heavy dose of him, especially if Mitch is running for his life, he's not going to have much time. He's going to have to dump it off to one of the backs, maybe Benny Snell or Najee, or he's going to have to hit Fryermuth. So there might be a heavy dose of Fryermuth. That's usually the case when you got a bad.
Yeah.
Line.
Yeah.
Little slants, or you got to be creative. And the Bengals don't have the greatest pass rush, but when your offensive line is this dysfunctional, you got to get the ball. So I think Pat Fryermuth definitely is a good option if you got him on your team. And a lot of people got some great value for him in the draft. I saw some of the 12 and 16 team drafts we were doing, and Fryermuth was going a little low for me. I'm very high on him. I thought he had a great season last year, and he's going to continue that this year. I think he'll be in the conference. I don't think he'll be a Pro Bowler, but I think he'll be in that tier below that. I think he'll be
second tier, kind of below the elite. So I think he's going to be an upriser, just like Pitts is. I mean, I think Trubisky will rely on Pat a little bit. I mean, they got him projected either 1 or 2 touchdowns. So I mean, it could go either way. I mean, it depends on where they are and where they get the ball, where the ball ends up. I mean, especially if it's in the red zone. I mean, Mermuth, or it could be Najee. I mean, it could be any of these guys. It depends on how they actually, go up and down the field a little bit. So I'm gonna be watching some games this weekend for sure. I mean, I'm kind of curious on how these teams play out, how their offenses look, and whatnot. So I mean, I'm kind of curious on some of that stuff a little bit. Right now a lot of it's kind of projections. This guy could be doing this. This guy could do that. I mean, it just when the ball gets played, we'll see what happens.
We will see.
Oh, there goes some notes. Nah.
Yeah. The tree company people love me. I use up a lot of paper.
But right, anyways,
anyways,
I'm gonna go with the Bengals.
Okay, so just to review that, I don't have my sheet to reference anymore. I don't care. They're going over 44.5 points. In my Jamie's, what you're probably taking the under, I'm guessing, or are they gonna push?
I think this is gonna be a push.
Okay, so be right around 44. So you're thinking what? Maybe Bengals 27-17.
Yeah, that's somewhere around there.
So no, I think that's what the experts are going for. I think they're thinking 27-17. That's why they put the 44.5 point line.
Yeah, I don't think there's
cover. Bengals will cover. They're going to go over 6.5, definitely.
Yeah.
Packers and Vikings. Ooh. The battle for the North.
The battle. Hey, that's what we should call this. The battle of the North. Because the Bears and the freaking the Lions ain't gonna be doing shit. So I mean, these are the two teams to really talk about in the North. So.
You hold up on the Lions. They're coming in my hot takes, but the Bears are trash.
But anyways, we got. I don't know. We got an over under of 48 points. That's going to be interesting. I guess I think they're at. Are
US
they at
Bank. US
Ooh,
Bank.
so they're actually
at that game. Why aren't we at that game?
I don't know, because I'm poor and I have to work.
You know what? But I'm gonna get Chad and Jared and whoever else is gonna chime in here. I'm gonna get them all to start harassing you. Be like, Jamie, you and Eli need to go to that goddamn Dallas and Minnesota game in November. You guys need to be there.
Oh,
yeah,
crazy,
I'm calling my shot. That's right.
You do that.
The wifey's in the other room. Why don't you tell her, like, hey, this is.
Hey, I'm home alone, so.
Oh, yeah, I always knew you were kind of a little Kevin McAllister.
But anyways, we got the Packers and the Vikings here, and I don't know. I think the Vikings are going to win this one. I mean, even though they got them by plus one, I think the Vikings do win, especially being at home. I like the fact that Kirk Cousins can, possibly throw a touchdown. I think Jefferson's going to have himself a nice heyday. I think he's going to torch these Packers defense.
If you think what Jamar Chase is going to do to Pittsburgh's defense, because Pittsburgh actually, I mean Green Bay's got a good defense too. Don't get me wrong, but If you thought what Jamar Chase is going to do to Pittsburgh was impressive, wait until I tell you what Justin Jefferson is going to do to this Packers defense.
Oh wait, is he going to get 2,000 yards in one game?
He might. Mark this down. Mark this down because he's on one of my teams. I think he's on my 16 team. Twin Turbo Friday. We're talking about that league preview. So in one of our leagues we talk about, but Jefferson 190. Jamie, you might want to keep liquids out of your mouth before I say this. 190 and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, you're a little insane there, but I think he gets 100 yards at least, maybe a touchdown. I mean,
you're so modest.
Oh. Hey, I gotta be realistic.
You Macaulay Culkin looking bastard.
Hey now. I mean, I gotta be realistic. I can't be playing those little fantasy games you got on your phone. This actually isn't real Madden. Where you can actually just
real life. Yeah, this is real life shit.
But they got Kirk going. Projected at about 260 some odd yards, maybe a touchdown or two, and so I mean, I think Kirk actually tosses it to either Jefferson will probably one or the other guy in the mix, maybe Cooks or actually either Thielen or Osborne. It just depends on how everything kind of pans out that way. I mean, I like to see maybe Osborne get a touchdown in there if they're super close to the red zone, possibly more than likely. But I mean, the other guy I didn't really put in there is Irv
Smith.
Irv Smith, yep. He'll probably end up.
I didn't know Conklin. Because I was asking you about that. I'm like, what happened to Conklin? I guess Conklin's in New York now. He's with the Jets. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just know they're just the highlights of Irv Smith a little bit, and I actually took Irv Smith in a league or two or so.
You did, yeah. I saw that.
Yep. Yeah.
So I know you're. I don't think this week's the week. I think Irv Smith is solid. I think obviously I'm high on Adam Thielen. I'm high on KJ Osborne. I think the Vikings have the best, if not one of top 5 receiving core in the league. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm high on a lot of these guys. I just and even Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook. It could be one or the other. I mean, it could be Jefferson going off, or it could be Cook going off for 190 and 2 touchdowns for Cook, or 190 and 2 touchdowns for Jefferson. Somebody's going off. And I think Cooks actually gets. I think they're actually gonna have a couple guys with 100 to some odd yards possibly. Okay, I think Cook goes for 100 yards. So you think they're gonna obliterate? And Green Bay has got to respect. I mean, they've got the probably a top 10 defense, and they've got a top 5 or 6 offensive line. So they're Green Bay is respectable. Up front too, they got a decent pass rush, and they have no receivers, but that's besides the point. But so I don't know how they're going to move the ball in the Vikings, but Green Bay, in terms of if they're going to slow the pace down, if they're going to muck it up a little bit and make it a 2017 kind of game, I could see Green Bay pulling out something like that. But if it's going to be high scoring, I mean, Minnesota's going to obliterate them, absolutely.
Yeah, it all depends on what Aaron Rodgers does too. I mean, they got a bunch of rookies coming in this year. I mean, they got Lazard for one of their main guys. Watkins, I don't like Watkins much. I mean, he's been washed up ever since he left the Bills. So I mean, I don't like him much. I mean, he's been.
Oh, you mean no NDSU? He's a rook.
No, I was talking about Watkins, not Watson.
Oh, sorry, their names are so damn similar.
No, but we
talk about mediocre Green Bay receivers, and I get confused.
Yeah, well, yeah, that kind of happens. I mean, there's Watson and Dobbs, so I want to see how that kind of pans out. Which guy? I mean, okay. So I heard Watson was actually kind of doing some practicing a little bit. I don't think he was in the last game at all. I don't think I see any statistics on that, but I think he might end up being playing this week 1. So I'm kind of curious on to see where he goes, or not where he goes, but how he does, if he does play, or how many snap counts, how long he's on the field with the team and stuff like that. So I'm kind of curious on that a little bit. But other than that, their wide receiver core, not a fan of it.
He's the worst, Jamie. He's the worst number one receiver in the league. I don't think that's even debatable. He is the, Alan Lazard. If he's your number three, he's a solid number three, good number three. When he's your number one receiver, you got issues, man. And Tanya's coming back from injury. He's got a D grading from Fantasy Pros. Sammy Watkins and both the rookies, Dubs and Christian Watson, are both rated as F. Lazard even is a B. I mean, for a number one receiver, that is low for anybody on Fantasy Pros. Like, they're not high on this Green Bay passing attack. I mean, Rodgers could end up with 170 yards. I know it sounds crazy, but I mean, it's going to have to be on the. They got Aaron Jones and Dylan. Both of them are graded pretty highly. So, I mean, it's going to have to be on defense, and it's going to have to be in the running game if Packers are going to have any chance. And I don't think they do. I think Minnesota, usually their games are competitive just because it's a divisional matchup. I say 27-23 Vikings, and they're going to go over. They're going to go over 48 points. So I'm taking the over on that. What say you? And they're going to cover the spread. They're going to win by 4, so they're going to cover that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at spread wise. I think the Vikings do cover that. I mean, if the Vikings do get going, I mean, I could probably see this game maybe getting to 50 points. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is going to have I think he will have a couple touchdowns in there somewhere. It's either going to be a running back or a wide receiver wise. I mean, Rodgers is not going to give up that easily. I mean, even if it is in garbage time, I mean, he'll rack up some points for you either way. I mean, it's just a given. They're not going to just not try. That's how Rodgers always is.
Did you see? Wait. This guy. Did you see him last year in the playoffs against the 49ers? He dogged it.
He was dogging because he wanted all that money. That's why.
He's a greedy bastard, and I'm greedy too. Out of here. That's gonna be like my new favorite part of this segment of the.
God damn! I'm gonna just toss my shit away. All right, I'm done over this.
Raiders and the Chargers.
Yes.
The Bolts. The Chargers. All right, man. So, I did some research. I think in the preview, I kind of like, Raiders will be respectable, and I'm interested to see what Devontae and Derek Carr could do, especially with the new coaching regime with McDaniels and his staff. But the more I look into it, I'm like, this is a bad football team. They got their offensive line is just as bad as Pittsburgh's, who we mentioned. They have no running game. I don't trust Brandon Jacobs. Get out of here. And White, he's not very good either.
No, White's a rookie, so I mean that's gonna be given. I mean that's gonna take some time.
But there's some rookies, Jamie, that are like Breece Hall. We're both high on. There's some rookies that were like, this guy's gonna pop. The Pierce kid from Houston. There's some rookies that were like, yeah, this guy should be decent. This guy should be all right. I don't see anything from White. Defense is bad. I mean, they got a decent kicker. Obviously, like it matters, but
yeah.
And the Raiders put up 12 points. Dan Carlson, he went 4 for 4. But yeah, I mean, you got a top 5 Hall of Fame receiver with Devontae Adams. I mean, they paid him a fortune, so $28 million a year, and you've got probably a top 15 some might argue top 12 quarterback in Derek Carr. So they're decent at a couple and tight end, Darren Waller, top 10 tight end. So they've got some decent skill position guys, but I think overall as a team, the Raiders, icky.
The Raiders.
Yeah. Chargers on the flip side, and then you can get to Herbert and Eckler, both graded A's this week, as is Keenan Allen, and the experts say it. I'm saying it. This is going to be a blowout, dude. Chargers are just going to smack them around.
I kind of want to. I want to see the Chargers win this game. I just don't think the Raiders. I think the Raiders will put up a fight, but they don't. I don't think they'll have the offense enough to keep up with the Chargers. I mean, if you think about it, the Chargers got Eckler. They got two. Pretty much, we'll call them the Twin Towers because these guys are just huge.
That's what the women used to call me and you.
You're horrible. But either way, these two guys are monsters. I mean, they got Williams is projected up there pretty high. I mean, I think he's a top 15 guy at least.
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean he's pretty close with Allen.
Jamie, 15 and 16. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are rated 15 and 16 this week, so they're back to back. They should both put up similar games.
Yeah, I would think so. They got both of them right around Fantasy Pros actually got them projected right around about 60 some odd yards, and I think one or the other is going to have probably a little bit more than 60 yards. I think they'll have quite a few catches at least too.
They're always so safe. They're always so conservative. They're like you. They're kind of like you. You're so conservative and safe with your bets. Say it. Mike Williams is going for 120 and a touchdown. Keenan might float around the 70-yard mark, but Mike Williams is going off. He's my hot bet for this game. Eckler's going off. I even like Isaiah Spiller, the backup running back. I think everybody's going to get in on the action. You should even Gerald Everett, who they picked up from Seattle. I know you like Gerald Everett. He might get in on the action too. Herbert is a they say he's an A. He's an A+ this week. Take him.
Yes. I was actually kind of looking at Everett a little bit. And we'll get to that too when we kind of sim down over the kind of the waiver guys quick too. But I mean, I like Everett. I think they got 3 for 35. He might get a couple. He might get maybe 45 yards possibly. I mean that's about all I can see with him. Maybe he gets a touchdown in there if they get in the red zone possibly, but it all depends on how good the Raiders are, if they can stop him at all, or when they get to the red zone. They
ain't stopping a nosebleed. They ain't stopping nothing.
Oh goodness! But I mean, on the other side, I mean, they got Carr going for maybe a touchdown. I do think Adams does have a good heyday over there a little bit. I think he at least gets 80 some odd yards at least. Over there, maybe a touchdown possibly from Carr. I think there will be a touchdown from Carr and Adams in there somewhere in there, but they'll probably toss the running game in there just a little bit. But other than that, you'll see your Renfro and a couple of catches from Waller. So
I have a very very lethargic look on my face. I'm like,
why?
You're trying to talk up the Raiders, but we picked this matchup where I thought you guys wanted competitive games. Well, we make mistakes. When I'm looking at, I knew we wanted to do the Tampa Bay Dallas game because that obviously I knew we wanted to do the Buffalo Rams game because that's going to be great. And there's a couple other games that I was like, oh, it looks like. I mean, it was between this and the Cards and Chiefs for games I wanted to review, but. You know what? Anytime you can talk about Justin Herbert, you do it.
Of course.
He's going to go Mario this week. He's going to lay the pipe.
The pipe. Ooh, I didn't know Mario had pipes, but I guess that's something new I learned today.
Yeah. As Princess Peach.
Woo, doggy. Yes. But yeah, I think. The Chargers will win out this game for sure. I think it's going to be the total is going to be an even. I think it's going to push.
So you're what?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think this
34-18 something like that or
yeah. I don't think it's
35-17 something like that.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to go over.
I think it's going to go over by 2 points. I think Chargers are going to smack them around 41-13. 54 points. They're going to take the over, and obviously the Chargers are going to cover the 3.5 point spread. And you know what? I've had enough of this. I've had enough of this trash. That's what it is. These 4 games are trash. I will keep the Tampa Bay and Dallas one because it's close to my heart.
Oh.
Let me pull this bad boy out.
He's got the sheets. Ooh, what's on there? What's on there today? What's on the agenda?
I'm going to clap the oh, man. I'm waiting for this. Sunday Night Football. Yours truly, the beloved Buccaneers up against the America's. What do you guys like to say? The little term, America's team. Is that what you like to say?
I think so. But
Tom Brady's America's quarterback. So
Oh crap. Well, actually, let's get to. I mean, I just it's crazy that they have these two teams going back to back year to year on for week one. I'm like, what? I was kind of
Love
stunned to
it.
see that.
Love it.
I mean, I mean, I love it too, but I think this year is going to be down with the fucking Buccaneers.
Never.
Yes,
I'm not
it's our
walking. I'm
turn.
not walking the plank, and neither is Tom Brady.
There's gonna be a meme of the Cowboys Dak shoving Brady right off the plank. Book.
Yeah, hilarious.
But
No.
no,
So they have just quickly some of the grades. They're not very high on Dak. Fantasy Pros has him at a C plus. So
I mean I can see it. I mean, well, our what?
we got a good defense and a good offense. Good offensive line to protect Brady. Obviously, he always has a good offensive line. But on the defensive side, I mean, we got a solid defense. So maybe that's why they're a little low on Dak. But yeah, it could be. Michael Gallup is out too, so maybe he thinks that the only weapon he's got is Dalton Schultz and then obviously CD. But so what are your thoughts? Like, why would they only rate Dak as like maybe a top 20 quarterback this week?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, we got Turpin and we got pretty much two rookies. That that doesn't help our cause much. I mean, we don't really have. I mean, CD is our only veteran there. I mean, other than Schultz, being there 1 year. I mean, he helps out when needed for short passes and stuff like that. So I could see why they kind of got him rated as that, because our offense is not that great right now. I mean, we lack in wide receiving core right now. We don't really have another top number 2 guy. So, I mean, a lot of these guys are going to be covering, CD Lamb a little bit. I mean, Turpin's unknown, and Tolbert's unknown too. I mean, Tolbert was kind of shitty in the preseason games. He didn't really do anything at all. So, I mean, he's unknown. So, I mean, I just think it's really going to be a unmatched game when it comes to these two guys, or these two teams, actually, to be honest with you.
No, the ground game. Like, what do you expect from Zeke and Tony Pollard? Like, is it gonna help the cause? Because I mean, this could get ugly. I mean, the Bucks are stacked on both sides.
Most definitely are. I mean, there's no giving with that. I mean, the list goes on and on. It could probably be like the freaking the Cleveland. How many quarterbacks? How many wide receivers, tight ends do they have on their roster? But I just think that, I mean, Zeke being kind of a little bit more the heavy hitter a little bit, I think they'll probably toss in some Pollard in there a little bit too. So, I mean, they might slow the Bucks down a little bit, but if they don't get that run game going a little bit, it's going to be hard for us to get that passing game open a little bit.
Absolutely.
So.
I think they have Tony Pollard as a C running back this week. They got Zeke as a B plus. You know what? I think you go a heavy dose of Tony Pollard. I think Pollard is and they're going to be interchangeable throughout the year. I mean, there might be some weeks Zeke pops and then some weeks that Pollard pops. I think they're going to be a nice tandem. But I think this week, if you're looking for somebody who's a little cheap, especially DFS, obviously if you have him on your team, I would start him in the flex spot, or in a, if you have a second running back spot, I would go with Tony Pollard. He's a sleeper this week. And but no, definitely a DFS, because he might be a little bit cheaper. You can pick him up, pop him in there. I think Tony Pollard's going to have a good game. Dalton Schultz, I think there's going to be a heavy dose, because we're going to be harassing Dak. I mean, Dak's going to be under pressure. That's what the Bucks do. Especially under Todd Bowles the last couple of years, like we blitz a lot, and we've got the personnel to do it. So. A lot of Dalton Schultz and a lot of Tony Pollard. CD, I don't think. I mean, he's an A plus this week. He's going to be an A plus most weeks, because I mean the guy's a stud. But I don't think he's going to pop. I know I was talking about some of the other number 1 A plus guys. JJ and Jamar Chase, Cup, Devontae. Some of these other guys are going to Diggs. They're going to have good games. I don't think. I think CD is going to have an average for his level. His standards, I think 70 yards, maybe a touchdown. So not quite the pop week, but a solid week, decent week. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I think it's a heavy dose of Pollard and Dalton Schultz if the Cowboys are going to be competitive in this game. Yeah,
I think there might be a good couple of plays from either Tolbert or Turpin up in there. There might be a couple bursts.
Yeah, Turpin might need to step up, and be a slot. He's going to be what, the slot guy.
I actually haven't heard yet. I'm not quite sure on where he's. I just heard he's going to be in the offense. I'm not sure exactly where these two guys are going to be, but I just know CD is going to be on the outside. So I'm not quite sure exactly where these two guys are going to be. But if it's given, maybe Tolbert on the slot, and Tolbert on the outside possibly. So either way, depends on where these two guys line up. I think they'll at least there'll be a couple burst plays in there somewhere between these two guys. On the other side, what do we think about Fournette? You think he's going to actually have?
They have him. They have him rated as an A-. Lenny is about the 15th rated running back this week.
I don't think he's gonna. I don't think.
I think you attack. I think you attack Dallas through the air. That's what I think you do. I think you attack Dallas through the air. I don't like their secondary, and obviously I love our weapons. I love Mike Evans. Russell Gage was a nice sleeper, pickup. And I think he's going to do better under Brady than he did under Matt Ryan. Obviously, Julio, let's get him involved a little bit. Maybe who knows? Maybe you'll get a Scotty Miller sighting. And
maybe I was looking at all their people they have. They have
Godwin's coming back from the injury, so I don't know how many targets he's going to be getting. So I think so you might see a couple guys on our depth chart that you're like, oh, Scotty Miller's still with them. I didn't. So.
Yeah, I think there was a couple. I know. I mean, I put down Russell Gage, Julio, Godwin. Brate maybe. I think Brate will get a couple catches up in this game.
He's solid.
He won't. He's not going to be like
he's not
off
prone.
the.
No.
Yeah, he's not going to be off the charts or anything like that. But he'll end up having a couple catches in there. I believe. I just think Fournette. I don't think he's going to get over 100 some odd yards. Maybe 75-ish. I mean, maybe a touchdown in there if they do get the red zone. But I mean, I don't see him getting 100 some odd yards for sure.
Yeah, I think 75 and a touchdown sounds great for Lenny. White, the rookie, he might get a little bit of action, but I could see just a solid 280, 2-touchdown kind of game from Tom Brady. Rely on the defense. Let them do their thing. Dallas had trouble moving the ball in the preseason. They're kind of undermanned without Michael Gallup, and I think we just have a better roster. I mean, maybe later in the season, maybe Dallas will get healthier, and maybe some guys will develop like Turpin and those sort of guys. But I think right now, as we speak, I think the Bucs are a better team. I think we go into Dallas 27-17, so we cover the 2-point spread. And I think this is my first under. I like to take a lot of points. This is my first under game. I don't think they're going to put up 50 points. What do you think?
I mean, I think it just depends on how the game flows. Dallas is more than likely capable of actually putting up some quick numbers. I know. I honestly think this could actually be another shootout. Honestly, be another shootout possibly. I mean, I could probably see this going over 50 if it does happen that way. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, we have some unknown weapons that you just don't know about. I mean, they can actually just blow up, and you actually know we're going down to the house for a touchdown. So I mean, honestly, I just think this game might be a little bit underrated, just a little bit. So we could maybe possibly go over 50.
Well, you always have that likelihood when you have an explosive back like Pollard, or you have a big play guy like CD. There's going to be a couple plays in the game where you're just not going to stop these guys, no matter how good the defense is, or So maybe you break a couple big plays, you get a couple special team. You get a pick six on Brady, or you get a punt return touchdown, kickoff return touchdown. I mean, Dallas can maybe piece something together, and
yeah,
so you might
most definitely,
absolutely.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean that's how it was last year. If you think about it, I mean, shit. I mean, we went down. It was actually down to the wire. I mean, we went down the goal line, and next we ended up getting stopped, and game over with. So I mean, I think this game went over. I think that game went over 50 last year. So I mean, I don't see why why couldn't this year again. I mean, it's at home in Dallas. So I mean, we have
31-29 was the final score from last year. We beat you guys by a couple. So yeah, it was a close game, and yeah, if Dallas is going to stay in it, we gave you the recipe.
Yeah, it is.
Do you want to talk about the? We'll just quickly talk about the top 5 PPR guys for each of the positions.
Yeah, we can brush over that, and then we can probably wrap up the show a little bit, and we can call it good.
We'll get some of the we'll get a couple So let's kind of debate this quick. Quarterbacks, they got Lamar at number 1. Would you take Josh Allen or Herb? I might take Justin Herbert this week at number 1. I think he's gonna just torch the Raiders defense, but they got Lamar at number 1. They got your boy Jalen Hurts. That running man, like you've been talking about Lance. I'm not high on Trey Lance either, but with that running ability, it might turn him into a top 12, top 10 fantasy quarterback just with that ability. But Jalen Hurts, they got number 4, and they got Mahomes at 5. What do you think about that top 5? Quick.
I mean, I'm not. I mean, I don't mind it much. I mean, I like Herbert. I mean, Lamar. I mean, it's going to be a low scoring game. I think we talked about that, but I just depends on what the Ravens can do. I mean, Lamar's got that ability to run. I mean, Hurts. I mean, he's all right. I want to see what a lot of these week 1 looks like. And see how often they're running or what kind of trouble they're getting into. So I'm curious on a lot of that stuff. But Herbert, I like him. Trey, I want to see Trey a little bit too. So I like. Yes. I like your top 5. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, maybe you could dash in.
Well, this isn't my top 5. This is the experts' top 5.
Oh shit!
But I thought we could debate that. Yeah, we might have to change it up next week. Eli's top 5, but this week I went with the experts running back. They got CMC at 1, John Taylor at 2. Austin Eckler at 3, your boy Derrick Henry back and healthy at number 4, and Joe Mixon at 5. I think JT is number 1 this week. I think he's going to have a field day with Houston. McCaffrey, you never know. I mean, the guy. I think a lot of these experts are just they take a lot of the safe bets. They're very conservative and safe with it. CMC is always one play away from being out half the year. So
yeah,
trust him. I like Austin Eckler a lot. I like Eckler, JT, and Joe Mixon a lot this week. But do you have anybody you want to throw in the top 5 or any?
Actually, I like Henry. I like Henry a lot because they're actually at the Giants. So I mean, I can see Henry going for 200, probably going for 190 or 200 some yards on these guys.
Yeah, no, well, Derrick Henry is when he's healthy, he's the best, if not top 5 or anything. So he's always it's the same thing with JT and some of these other guys. He's always capable of putting up 200. I mean, the Giants are pathetic. Yeah.
So top 5 is a little bit. I mean, with some of the experts, I mean, JT, I think Henry, CMC, or no, I think it's kind of a toss up between Eckler and Henry, maybe top 2, and then pretty much trickle down after that. CMC is at the bottom for me, really.
Yeah, I don't trust him. I know the guy. This isn't 2019. This isn't 2017. I don't trust this guy. Wide receivers, we kind of discussed earlier. You know who the top 5 are: Kupp, Jefferson, Chase, Adams, Diggs. We'll brush through those. Tight end. So this is kind of where it gets a little interesting. We got Mark Andrews at 1, Kelsey at 2, Kyle Pitts at 3, George Kittle at 4, and Dalton Schultz at 5. Do you love Mark Andrews against the Jets, or I
don't think he's going to have quite of a big game. I think Schultz. No. I mean, he might be a number 4 guy for me. I like Schultz because of the matchup with the Buccaneers from Dallas. I mean, might have to toss a little bit, so I think he'll have. I think he'll have a little bit better game. I mean, I can't remember. Let me look who the Chiefs playing real quick. Cardinals. Yeah, so Kelsey probably a top guy there. And with the other game with let me see who the freaking
Falcons play the Saints, don't they?
I was actually going to take a look real quick.
Saints have a pretty good defense.
Oh, so it's Ravens Jets. So
yeah,
I mean, Andrews probably could have a good day.
Well, they traded Hollywood Brown in the offseason, so if it's not going to be Rashad Bateman, it's going to be a heavy dose of Mark Andrews. Yeah. So and a lot of these guys, I don't even like doing the top 5 because I think that a lot of people that follow this are competent enough to know who the. So maybe maybe we'll change it up next week and find some more sleeper, or even But we just wanted to run over this quick, and it'll be interesting to see, when we do the show on week 18, week 17 will be, I guess, championship week for fantasy, but kind of see where the top 5 is at that point. But yeah, for right now, it's these 5 guys. I think Kelsey should be 1. I think he's gonna have a field day with the Cardinals defense. I think Mahomes is gonna go to him early and often, and I think Juju wasn't on the receivers list. They got Juju at number 29 for PPR this week. I think Juju's going to have a sleeper game. I think Juju's going to have a nice game.
It's possible. I mean, I'm not really a fan of them, but they have to toss the ball somewhere. So I mean, Juju's going to be in that mix. So
okay, and then kickers, quick. I'll just go through it.
Kickers are kickers.
Oh, whatever. We'll humor people. Justin Tucker, Evan McPherson at 2. Shut up, guys. You're running long. Justin Tucker 1, Evan McPherson 2 from the Bengals, Butker from the Chiefs 3, Blankenship, your boy, number 4, and then Tyler Bass from the Bills at number 5. Blankenship might be the one guy that might be available or might be a backup. Like the guy you wouldn't think would be a top 5 fantasy. But the Colts are going to score some points, and the way their offense is set up, I think that cause that was like that in Atlanta too. The kicker, I know Koo was the kicker, and I forget the guy before Koo, but there was always a lot of field goal attempts with Matt Ryan behind center. So he drives the ball down the field, doesn't always score.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to be quite a few attempts for Blankenship. I think he's a good kicker. I love the glasses. So Blankenship might be a sleeper guy. If you were debating whether or not starting him, or if you're looking at DFS, you can probably get him as a pretty cheap kicker. And then Jamie will close out defenses, and then this will be the last time we ever do this segment. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Well, who knows? We might. This segment, I kind of like the Fab 5 thing, so I mean,
I do too.
We might continue that. We'll just have to toss in some other games in there, possibly.
Yes. But defense is quick. I was talking them up earlier. San Francisco at 1, Denver at 2, 3 New Orleans, 4 Baltimore, 5 Indy. Indy I like because I don't trust Houston's. Indy might be a sleeper. I keep bringing up the sleepers because we all do DraftKings. We all do FanDuel. Everybody's got. Somebody, okay, you need to save some money somewhere. Like, hey, I can't afford San Francisco's defense. I can't afford the Bills or, a higher end defense, Rams, Bucks, somebody like that. So Indy is a nice value defense. You can probably get them pretty cheap if you're putting together a team. We do the Yahoo Cup, and then we do DraftKings as well. So I like Indy at 5. Baltimore, I mean, especially if Joe Flacco starts. I mean,
Baltimore, I heard a rumor that it's possible Wilson might start, possibly. It's not quite rumored yet, but it's possible that he might play. But it's unsure yet. He has a chance of maybe playing week 1, but
he also has a chance with my mom, but we'll kind of pick up the pace here and we'll wrap this up. I want to get these segments in because I said I would. Studs, I got studs and duds, and then I have 1 sleeper. So more Fab 5 for you guys. Jamie, if he wants to give his as well.
I didn't really do any of the studs and duds things, So I mean, we just pretty much the Fab 5 kind of took a toll on things, and I mean, the other quick thing was maybe we can save some waivers for Friday's show or whatever. So
I'll get to the waivers on Friday. And it'll be more current too, because I know you guys you'll have the Thursday night game to kind of gauge things, and then come into the weekend and see who's available, and if anybody gets hurt this week in practice, kind of. So that'd probably be a better bet, probably safe for Friday.
Yeah.
For the league shows that we do, but I'll do the studs and duds and sleeper quick. Studs, obviously Justin Herbert, got him going off. I got 4 total touchdowns and 360 yards passing for him. JT is my stud running back, 140 and 2 touchdowns. He's gonna
140.
Yeah, and 30 yards receiving. I got him about 170 total yards with 2 touchdowns. JT's
damn.
My duds for the week. Avoid these 2 guys like the plague. DK Metcalf. Got him about 3 catches, 40 yards. I don't trust him. I don't trust Geno Smith. I don't trust that. I think Seattle's going to have a hard time breaking 10 points against Denver's defense. Denver's got a stud top 3 defense, and Russ is going to want to stick it to them in his debut matchup. So stay away from DK Metcalf. And then the 49ers have some ammo this week. They're going to shut down Darnell Mooney. I'm tired of him talking. That's all he does. Talk. They're going to shut him out.
You know what? I'm gonna be surprised if the Bears come out and they just spank the freaking mouth of everybody's that take the Niners over the freaking Bears. I'm gonna be laughing so hard. I'm gonna
I'll eat a whole plate of shit. I'll eat a shit sandwich, some shit smothered chips. I'll eat it all, man. And then my sleeper is Jahan Dotson, the Commanders receiver.
Yes.
You love him, and this week I love him too. I got him 4 catches, 72, and a touchdown. Deceptive week. And you probably pick him up cheap. He's probably on your bench if you've especially in a 12-man league. He's easily on your bench. You might want to consider throwing him in the third receiver spot or flex, however the league's set up.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville's defense isn't anything to brag about. So if it's in McLaurin, I think the Commanders have a nice. I think Wentz will have a nice game. And Logan Thomas is supposed to be out at tight end. They have no tight end this week apparently.
Really? Damn.
And they have no running game either because Gibson.
Oh, good God, that's horrible.
And the other kid Robinson got shot. So it's like. They have no running game. They have no tight ends. So who's it going to be? It's going to be a large dose of Terry McLaurin, and it's going to be a large dose of Dotson. So
I don't think Gibson is going to be in there much. So Gibson. I'm not. I was more actually a fan of Robinson kind of taking over that role, but Gibson. If you have to play Gibson, I mean, you just have to bear with him if he fumbles it a little bit. But Gibson is not a bad player. He fumbles, yes, but I mean he's still effective with what he does. So
they no, in all due respect, you're right. They have him rated, I think, as the number 19 running back this week in Fantasy Pros. So a little love for him. I don't see him popping. I think it's going to be through the year. I think Wentz is going to want to show, hey, this is why they traded for me. This is why they gave me the money. And McLaurin, I think is going to have I think he's going to go off. So obviously Terry McLaurin, he's going to be a starter. He's a starter on all. He's a top 12 receiver. So Jamie's opinion, arguably, but me. So he's going to be starting. He's going to be starting in most leagues as the number 1 guy. So at some point, 3 hot takes, and then I'll let Jamie run his mouth on what he wants to run his mouth on.
Yeah.
I called this stuff before, but now I got to get it on YouTube because we're on YouTube now.
We're
legit.
What's YouTube? I don't know what YouTube is.
I didn't know either. I was like, what's this YouTube thing? Then they told me it's kind of a big deal. So and then I got all excited and I'm like, I got to talk it up, and now I'm amped, and now I'm like, oh shit, all right. Three hot takes. You can mark these down. You can put them somewhere. I think Chad and Jared stopped watching, but
probably did. Well, actually, I think Jared's still watching.
Oh,
I think
we ran a little long. Oh well, who cares? It's our show. We do things.
How about this? How about you pitch your hot takes and you tape them in the back wall there?
I think I'm gonna have to. I was gonna order a little Buccaneers stadium picture off Amazon. Back there, but I might have to put these. See, I might put these hot takes up there too. See, they're right there. All right.
Get on with it.
Get on with it. Yeah. So I have the Chiefs will miss the playoffs. Chiefs will miss the play. The division will come down between Denver and the Chargers, and I actually think that Denver is going to win the division, and the Chargers will be the wild card. And so I think that's going to pan out in the AFC West. Second prediction: George Pickens, our boy, is going to be the AFC Offensive Rookie of the Year. George Pickens was the steal of the draft, 2nd round pick. I can't believe he went in the 2nd round. Steelers just do it. They know how to pick receivers. They know how to develop them. They hit it out of the park every year. Claypool a couple years ago, Deontay Johnson. They know what they're doing at receiver. Pickens will be a stud. Finally, and this is a little, I think Chad put something up earlier about the Lions are going to win 5 games. No, they're not, Chad. They're winning. The Lions are going to win at least 9 games, 9 or 10 games. Mark that down. The Lions will have a 500 record because they have the number 3 offensive line in the league. They have improved weapons, especially when Jameson Williams comes back from injury. That might take half the season, but
there we go.
He put it up there again.
Yeah, Jared actually said the Bears will both be 5-12.
There's 2 wins against the Bears. Bears be atrocious. You got 1 win. I think they're going to beat the Vikes and Packers at least once. There's 4 wins right there. I think they can find 5 other wins on the schedule. Lions can get the 9-8. I don't think this is crazy. Do I look like a crazy person?
Yeah.
Huh? Do I look like
just a little bit. Honestly,
right,
I don't see the Lions doing it, but I don't see the Lions getting 9 wins. I just don't. I can't see it unless they get the rookie back from their main rookie. Other than that, I can't see it. But
that's beast mode incarnate. That's what that is.
Well, I hope everybody actually liked what we kind of had going on here today. We did a little bit of Fab 5. We did some talking, and we had some guys actually had some chit chatters up in the.
We did
our comments today, which was kind of surprising. I enjoyed that quite a bit. It always makes it a little bit fun. It makes it more enjoyable doing this and having people tossing what they think up in there. So I mean,
gives us people to play off of. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, we're not experts here, man. We're amateurs. We just been doing this for a long time, so we just call ourselves amateurs. We're not experts in this field.
The only expertise I have is just come by after midnight and you'll find out.
But all right, so I hope everybody kind of enjoy being here. I think we're having shows either Tuesdays and Fridays more than likely. Maybe
Tuesdays and Fridays, and unless we have something come up, and then we'll let you guys know ahead of time. But yeah, that's the plan. Jamie said he's gonna hold me to that. He's like MFer. He's like Tuesdays and Fridays, and I was like, yes, sir.
Yeah,
we'll get on that.
Or if not, you're fired.
You're fired.
All right. Well, everybody, I'm your host, Jamie, and my lovely co-host on the other side of this mirror or whatever hell it is. But I think Friday we will actually get into a little bit of our league, some of our league stuff a little bit, which would be kind of fun. We'll kind of break down some stuff there, and rosters and stuff like that, and give some people some crap, and kind of go from there a little bit. So
I'm excited, man. We got 2 leagues to talk about. Absolutely.
Yes, we do. So, all right. We are up out of here. Hopefully see you guys next Tuesdays. Subscribe and share this stuff with people out in the YouTube world. I mean, it's the only way we're going to get, a little following will be all right. But I mean, due time will come. So we're not the greatest, but I don't know.
Rome wasn't, Jamie, let's be positive. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, it might take us the whole season, but hey, we'll get somewhere.
yeah. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it also wasn't built in a week.
Yeah. All right, everybody. I'm Jamie. That's Eli.
See you.
We out of here.
Deuces.